So I'm back at the campsite again. I got back here without a problem. I was kind of processing what happened with that grizzly situation. I just watched my first video on it, and I made a mistake. I had said I was 50 yards from the bear. I was like 50 feet from the bear. We made very clear eye contact with each other. You know, one of the things that's very disconcerting about that incident is it's generally recommended that your best defense in that kind of a situation, when you're out hiking by yourself in the backcountry, is make a lot of noise. And I follow that idea religiously. I'm louder on the trail than Times Square on New Year's Eve. So there's no way that that bear did not hear me. Had to have heard me. So very surprising that it was right there. You know, the part that's also so disconcerting about it is that as soon as I spotted that grizzly bear, and she was enormous, I mean, that bear had a head about the size of a Thanksgiving Day turkey platter. It was enormous. And I mean, I was so close, I made eye contact with her, and she made eye contact with me. And when you're that close, even though I bet I was retreating within 1 second, maybe 1.5 seconds of spotting the bear, even though I was retreating, I was so close to her at 50 feet that all that bear needed to do was charge at me, and she would have been on me in a second, 2 seconds. She would have covered that distance. And what's so unnerving is that even though you're backing up, it's like the bear is so close, it's like the distance isn't changing even though you're backing up. So there was a real tense period in that retreat where, you know, you just didn't know what was going to happen. Now, a few things I want to say about this whole bear situation is that things worth noting. The first thing is that oftentimes before a bear is going to charge you, it will give you an indication that it's getting increasingly agitated. Sometimes the bear will paw at the ground. Sometimes it'll start to snap at the air and snarl. Sometimes it'll growl. And sometimes its ears will get pointed back. Sometimes it'll get all four of those. And this bear did not make any attempts to charge me, and could have easily without a problem, especially with a cub right there. Although I should say this cub looked like a yearling cub. It wasn't a cub that was just born this spring. She made no attempts to charge me. She was not showing any of the agitated kinds of behavior that a grizzly bear will often show before it's about to attack. And it let me retreat without a problem. You know, over the next mile, I checked the trail probably 25 times just to make sure she wasn't coming down the trail behind me. And, you know, all's well that ends well. She didn't follow me back, and I got back okay, and have an interesting memory to share. I talked to my wife about what happened, and we have a new rule now, and the rule is when I'm out hiking, or when I'm out hiking on my way to a fishing spot, my new rule is that I have to carry my bear spray in my hand, not on my belt or on my vest, which is probably a good rule. But in the end, it all worked out okay. And as unnerving as the experience was to come that close to such a big bear, it'll be an interesting memory to continue to process. So I hope I haven't bored you with my story about the bear. I wish I could have gotten pictures, but I think you can understand why that didn't happen. God, that was a big bear. And, you know, one other thing I would want to say about this before I close. I've been hiking by myself in this park for over 40 years. And in 40 years, that's only the second grizzly bear incident that I've had because I make so much noise. The only other incident was probably 15, 16 years ago, and that bear never got any closer than, 75 yards to me. So it doesn't happen that often with all the time I spend by myself in the backcountry here. But it was an interesting morning, that's for sure. So today was just a hike, but I found some good water in a place called Panther Creek, so I'm going to go back up the trail. The crossing for Panther Creek was about, I'm sorry, it was Indian Creek, not Panther Creek. It was probably 2 miles down from where I saw the bear, so I'll steer well clear of that situation. But boy, the water looked good, so hope to get into some good fishing tomorrow. So this is an interesting development. Again, what I have here is another log that has been moved and torn apart. I actually moved the entire log, that's it right there, moved it over to that section. What makes this a little bit on the disconcerting side is that this happened last night, sometime during the night, and I'm less than 100 yards from my tent. Boy, I definitely need to keep my eyes open today. Well, this is a good warning sign to me. I'm back on that trail where I ran into the grizzly bear and the cub the day before yesterday. And it looks like last night, or at least since I've been here, on the way up and down this trail the day before yesterday, this bear has come through here, or a bear has come through here, and torn this log apart. Imagine the force to do that, but tore the log apart to get at the insects inside. So I'm making a lot of noise again. This water that I want to fish is still another 1.5 miles upstream, so I'm going to have to keep my eyes open. But I am following my rule, and I am carrying my bear spray in my hand. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if I'll put this in the video, but it looks like a bear was feeding here. It looks like it got a hold of maybe a moose leg or a elk leg. But right here, this is the water right here, so it looked like he fed here. But again, it looks like this is probably, looking how clean these bones are, this might have even been last fall or very early this spring. So I'm just outside my campsite, and look at this big, beautiful bull bison. I'm literally about 7 feet away from him. I'm sitting in my car. Look at this gorgeous, gorgeous animal. Look at how huge he is. This bull must easily weigh 800 pounds. One of the great things about Yellowstone is being able to get so close to the bison and do it safely. Hey, sweetie, come on, take a look over here. Yeah, what a beauty you are. Okay. And here I made another new friend. I hope he comes out. I'm going to try and expand this. But you can see that beautiful white-tailed deer. He's actually very, very bold. He's only about 30 yards from me, but he's making no intentions of, or showing no intentions. Oh, there he goes. He's starting to move away. It's actually a young buck. I'm looking at the antlers. So, two bison friends yesterday and a white-tailed deer friend today.